What's good, people? Welcome to another episode of the MySpace Effect, Building Influence and Impact. I'm your host, Herschel and Peters. Thank you for joining me for another episode. I ain't gonna lie to you, tonight I wasn't even feeling doing no podcast. I'm gonna be But I've learned that the truth is that sometimes it is the moments where you don't want to talk where they're needed the most. Because typically those are moments that speak the loudest, you know. But yeah, I told my friend, I'm not doing this. I don't even feel like it. Yeah, I'm not doing it. But tonight I really want to just deal with and talk about the feeling that most of us all have regarding the moment where every time we level up, it seems like something hits us or something's always around the corner. I mean, shortly right after. So that's what I want to deal with tonight. Every time I level up, something hits me. Let's get it.
Welcome to my space.
Welcome to my space. You did not have to come by, but you came by anyway.
You know, in life, there is a reality regarding back-to-back battles. And sometimes you get a win. And then, you get a win, you get to feeling good, and then you have a moment to breathe, and then pop, here comes another challenge. And it makes you question sometimes, even if the breakthrough was even real. This is normal for growth reasons. And the reason why I say this is because it doesn't necessarily exemplify somebody as cursed. It just ultimately means that your capacity is expanding. And I tell you why, because anytime you're moving forward in life, progress often welcomes and attracts pressure. It does. The more responsibility you carry in life, because as you grow and you obtain more things, the more responsibility comes with those things. That's why you have some people, which I've been realizing lately, that are shallow. Most people like that are irresponsible. And the people that have more depth to them have a little bit more responsibility. Why? Because the more responsibility you carry, the more life checks your foundation. That's what happens. And we love using them songs, saying them songs, blessings on blessings and different things like that, which is true. We want to enjoy the blessings of God and, but even with that, it comes new weight. Comes with new weight. And one of the perspectives I've learned is that, even in dealing with those pressures and those new weight as you grow, is that God is not trying to break you. He's more so just strengthening our stability. So it looks like this. If life is testing you in multiple areas at once, that ultimately means you're moving. That's what that means. It may not feel like it, but that is true. And sometimes that can come with what I've realized a lot of people are dealing with now, financial tension. That's a financial tension that really a lot of people don't talk about. And if they do, they talk about it too late when it got too bad. But sometimes that can involve lost income, delayed checks, that instability that make you second guess everything. Absolutely everything. And it's not that you're panicking. It's not like one is panicking. Now, some people will, they'll get anxiety and he'll come pop up with that weed, whatever the case may be or whatever vice, but the reality is that it's really an exhaustion that comes with, okay, here's one more thing. Here's one more thing. And that's something that I sense looking at a lot of leaders and just people in general. It's really tough right now. But what I want you to view or change your perspective of when it comes to things like that is that sometimes in situations like these, you have to really separate your situation from your identity. Just because money shift doesn't mean you're failing. Sometimes it means you're just adjusting. Life is changing. So many different things are changing. If you want to remain compatible to what God is doing, either in your life personally and what comes with life, you have to be teachable. You have to be adaptable, and being able to adjust is so vital. Everything is in how one responds. That's why momentum doesn't remove problems in life. They ultimately reveal them. Accept this now. Life does not get easier. It doesn't. You just get stronger. Oftentimes, a breakthrough really just exposes what needs attention next in life. This is tough to even talk about this because when I first was writing my notes down and stuff, I'm like, I'm not trying to hit this. Nah, I'm not trying to hit this. But ultimately, this is part of building that adult foundation, that real adult foundation, whether it's in finances, a particular mindset, patience, and dealing with systems. So you have to ask yourself, what part of my life is being strengthened right now? And everything you got going on, some things are probably popping up in a person's mind right now, right in front of you. How is that being strengthened? How is that being strengthened? Life can hit you. And people say life be life, and it do. But one thing about life is that if you don't choose it, if you don't choose life, it'll choose it for you. And ultimately, most of the time, life don't choose in your favor. That's why it's important to stay grounded when you're being hit from all different angles and sides. And I have some practical thoughts on ways one can do that even in going through and doing right now. Number one, you have to have rhythm over hype. You have to stop trying to feel inspired and build habits that don't depend on emotion. Oh, I'm talking good in here. Oh, yes, because many of us, we build habits that depend on emotion. We feel a certain type of way. People still drink 40s. Cut the camera off. When life hits, life be hit, man. You build habits on emotion. You can't drink your problems away. You can't smoke them away. Oh, man. You got to deal with them. You have to build better habits that doesn't necessarily depend on emotion. Yeah, don't worry about feeling inspired. Ultimately, what I'm talking about is disciplines. That's how one can create rhythm over hype. Number two, one day, one build, one move at a time. Ultimately, you have to reduce your overwhelm by reducing scale. Some things you just have to let go and let go of, whether it's people, places, and things. You have to take it one day at a time. If certain things is falling off, I'm dealing with some stuff now where it just seems like stuff is falling off. And I think it's in the matter of how it's happening than what's happening. But ultimately, as things reduce on the scale, I find the overwhelming feelings follow thereafter too. Eventually. Number three, you have to stop interpreting resistance as rejection. Stop interpreting resistance as rejection. Sometimes in life, it's refinement, not punishment. Now, my dad said something the other day. I was talking to him about some stuff. I said, I realized certain things while you and mama went through certain things in life regarding leadership and how people could have looked at it like this, that, and the third. And he said, well, son, it's like this, If I'm 8 years old, I'm 10 years old, and I'm trying to put on a used large shirt, is it going to fit the same way? I said, no, it's not. And, if that shirt is resisting because it's too small, you done outgrown it, that's not punishment or rejection. No, it's just you need to refine and find something else. That's what you got to do. Now, I know in that day and time, people, they love wearing that tight stuff like that. And it'd be punishing. Okay, let me move on. Yeah. Anyways. Number 4, talk it out before you spiral. Isolation makes pressure feels bigger than what it is. You have to talk about it. Now, some people feel lonely. They feel like I don't have nobody to talk to. There's somebody available to talk to. You have to utilize your lifelines. There's therapists. There's plenty of people. You have to just figure out who you can talk to. Obviously, we can talk to God. If you need somebody in human form with wisdom. And I've talked about this in a couple episodes ago about sharing things with people and what to look for, who's trustworthy and stuff like that. But yeah, you got to talk about it before you spiral out of control. You don't never want to suffer in silence. I had to learn that the hard way. There are some lessons behind all the things that we are doing, that many are who can relate to this are doing. And one of the things I want you to remember and keep before you is that you're being stretched, not broken. Yeah, you're being stretched, not broken. And sometimes when we have to deal with things from a financial aspect, it's really sharpening our discipline. Yeah, that's what it is. Even in loss, having to do stuff. Some people you should have been doing. Like with me, I should have been cooking more at the house, but I'm doing it now because I'm forced to. Sometimes one's resilience is being strengthened. It takes resilience. As I shared in one episode, resilience is not enough. However, it is key into becoming who we're supposed to be in life and where we're going in life. And so if that level of resilience in life can be strengthened, that is a good positive thing. Another lesson in life that people may endure is that, your consistency is being tested. Some of our reasons why we stay in cycles or spiral out or have a lot of problems because we lack consistency in certain areas in life that are important and vital. Yeah. Some people got health problems because you ain't consistent. People have relationship problems because you're not consistent. It's a lot of problems that can be, the root of it can be the lack of and refusal of being consistent. And even in that requires discipline, which is why another lesson is that some of us are learning to show up even when you don't feel like it. Yeah. And all of these things matter because as you keep going and keep moving, your future self will be like, you know what? I'm glad that you didn't stop or stay in this vicious cycle during this season. Yeah. I'm glad you kept going. I'm glad you kept growing. I'm glad you kept moving. Even with all that being said, sometimes the most important thing to do in seasons like these is to not stop. You may get tired, frustrated, or trying to figure out why everything hits you all at once or in the fashion that it is. But one thing you got to do is keep moving. If you don't get nothing else out of this, just remember to keep moving because it's in your consistency that makes the difference. And right now, somebody's consistency is building something that will outlast this season. So don't mistake the pressures for failure. It's just a sign that you're leveling up again. That's all it is. That's all it is. Anyways, this is the MySpace Effect. Building influence and impact, reshaping how we heal, lead, and grow. I'll see y'all on the next episode. Peace.